the cultivation curve. Ancient rules, new world word. See the soul, learn and burn.
I'm alive.
Grow through what you've earned.
No. I'm alive, Kelly, please.
Cannabis history,
Take her with you.
genetics, breeding,
Okay, leave her in the bathroom.
Cultivation.
Put her over here on the
and growth through plant medicine.
The cultivation curve.
Where the wisdom takes root.
couch. Can I flip the phone real quick?
What's up, everybody? Good evening.
I thought you were going to bring me on later. What's up, everybody? Nice to see you. I bet you didn't know I was going to be here.
Good there. Hi, everybody. Eskimo Grow in the house. John Lindsay, Dr. Dank Nugs. All kind of
All right. We got a full house. Nice to see everybody.
757.
What's up, everybody? Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing well.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good. It's been a pretty good day. I got a new printer. Am I getting older now? Am I getting up there?
That's
Were you excited about a printer?
I'm so excited. I
No.
know it works. It's a laser printer. It has color and
He sent me a video earlier. He was doing backflips. It was amazing. You couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I'm getting older. Smoking infected mind. Choose its freaking fire.
I remember being excited over a new printer when I was like 20, so.
Yeah.
Okay, I was excited for one then too, but it's like this one's
Now it's just a whole nother level.
Right? Now it's like a professional level. You're like,
that's awesome. That infected mind's gonna be spreading. I have a full belly. Nice.
it can be. I've got a cold this week. In case you can't tell, I got Rudolph thing going here.
Rudolph,
Real
I know
tough.
you're auditioning for the Who's.
Yes. Wendy Who of the Whoville. Yes.
Yeah.
I should have worn the ponytail or the bun with the like the little.
Oh,
boop,
good.
boop, boop.
You can borrow mine.
That's funny. I didn't even think about that.
Well, tell us about tonight's guest.
All right. Well, tonight we have Shaman David Joseph Staab, and he's going to come on tonight to, well, he's an ayahuasca shaman. He also, him and his wife do a number of healing retreats. They have, they go down to Colombia, down in the Amazon. And he is quite the expert in narcissistic healing with relationships. And so it's going to be a really interesting show tonight. It should be pretty fun. We'll dive deep on this one.
Find him over on Instagram under Shaman Staab. Am I sharing this right now? Yes, I am. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
Sure.
I'll give him a follow. If you're in the chat right now, you want to make a quick stop at Instagram, go follow Shaman Staab.
Yes.
And let's bring him on, shall we?
Absolutely.
What's going on, David? Welcome to
there.
the show.
How are you?
Nice to see you.
Bringing me on here.
Oh, thank you for joining us tonight. And usually I'm the talkative one. Well, no, actually I take that back. Crimson's the talkative one, but I may be a little quiet tonight just in case. I'm a little under the weather. Bear with me.
You're gonna help get the conversations going with what he's able to provide for others for healing, and us all of us can learn something from David tonight, and I'm excited to do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
We're
Well,
all
David,
dealing with our
if you
own
want
thing,
to
right?
tell, oops, sorry, Elle.
I said we're all dealing with our own thing, right?
Yes. So, and well, David, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and just kind of your background, and that'd be great.
The floor is
totally.
yours, sir.
What's that?
The floor is yours.
Sweet. Yeah, no, I appreciate you y'all bringing me on here. And when it comes to narcissism, healing from narcissistic abuse, and really the next stage of it, which is integrating the treacherous lessons from it, and then attracting healthy love and relationships, and then like the other piece is not self-sabotaging those, and those come up because the brain is so used to toxicity. I just love speaking about it and getting more messages out there. I feel like there's a bit of a wave of awakening about narcissism. Like the givers are finding the other givers, the lovers are finding the other lovers, and discernment is like a key component of today's age. I think there's a pretty big awakening to it right now. So I just love, I'm still learning and growing through all this myself, being in a really healthy thing now and all the challenges after being in something toxic. So I'm happy to chat about it, have some conversations, and kind of learn from each other. My background I'll give you a real brief nutshell of it. Totally polar opposite of plant medicine. Pretty polar opposite. Grew up in a very militant background. My dad was in the Marine Corps. I was groomed for that. Enlisted in the Marine Corps for a short period, went to Virginia Military Institute, and was on track to go the officer route. Long story short, I ended up getting suspended by pulling pranks in the school, which led me to door-to-door sales. Loved door-to-door, did that for a while. And then I moved up to New York. And that's when things started shifting, because I had a lot of addictive tendencies. And again, giving you the short version of it, I didn't realize it was rooted in abandonment wounding, which I think abandonment wounding is actually a key component to what we're going to be talking about with narcissism, and truly coming full circle on healing that abandonment wound because of the different things it creates energetically with us. And tried all the ways of the world to heal it. You've been at AA, all the different things to heal addiction stuff. Nothing worked. And I was guided to ayahuasca, and that really just changed everything for me. The first ceremony I ever sat in, I'll never forget it. I really felt like I had a deep connection with it, but so much self-doubt. I'm a white country boy from Oklahoma. Like, what place do I have at all working with a medicine like this? So had a ton of self-doubt for the first year or two. And I was really blessed though. I got blessed to meet an indigenous teacher. His name was Danilo. He's indigenous from Colombia. And he believed in me way before I believed in myself. And he said he saw something in me, took me under his wing, and I began really working with this indigenous teacher, just helping him, and hundreds of ceremonies, going through different things in Colombia, in Mexico. I brought him out to the States to keep learning from him. So my path evolved over a 10-year period of eventually learning to bring the medicine and serve it in a really safe, ethical way here in the States, while going back and forth to the Amazon multiple times a year. I've lived out there, trained out there. Now to shift to the narcissism stuff, a lot of people know me from my past life. And what I mean by that is, before my content now, I had a kind of an empire built, about 400,000 followers, top podcast out there. And it looked great on the outside. And the healing work was great. Like, we did international retreats. I brought my shamanic team out to Costa Rica, Italy, Colombia, Belize. We had this big center. But what no one knew was on the inside, I was getting treated like dog shit, basically. I don't know if we can cuss on this, but it's very, very poorly. Just severe amounts of neglect. And I was so naive. I had no clue what boundaries were. I thought everyone, because I have good intentions and a good heart, everyone thinks that way. And just a lot of self-sabotaging, a lot of abandonment throughout all that. And I started to see little bits and pieces of it. And again, for the longevity, to make it a short story, by the time I saw the truth of what it was, I'll never forget this little conversation with, my own experience with God. And it was like, you have to walk away from everything if you really want to cut this tie and start this new chapter. And when I left, I'll never forget it. I left with a backpack of clothes, my dog, bottle of ayahuasca, and my guitar. And that's it. Started over. Super humbling. Literally went to live with my mom in her side room that she had to compose myself and start that process. Went out to the Amazon for about half a year and just did a lot of work with it. I was really blessed to work with an elder out there every week, working with ayahuasca deeper and deeper, multiple times a week, learning from him. And that, not that it's about speed, but I will say those months living out there, ayahuasca speeds the process up of a lot of things that I think would have taken a lot longer, as long as you're willing to consistently face yourself and look at all the ways that you, not to discredit the shittiness of the experiences you had, but the only way, as uncomfortable as it is, the only way to grow from it, to learn from it, and to shift out of it is to see the role you played in it. So my gosh, the depth of things that she was showing me in ways, all these different things that I pretty much self-abandoned. And then from there, a very unexpected thing happened, because the last thing I was looking for was any kind of relationship after that. Kace and I got together, my wife. She's incredible. Like, I'm so blessed to have. And once you get into something healthy, the depth of gratitude you have is so different for being in something conscious and healthy. And then she's on the same path as me. So that whole phase of my life started, and learning how to navigate something healthy and not letting the mind self-sabotage it, because your brain is used to manipulation. Your brain is used to things being weaponized against you. Being vulnerable is not safe. All these things where, not to demonize them, but to speak very authentically, people, there are beings that are kind of always a step ahead and always like, how can this be my source? How can I control this person? So when you get into something healthy, there's all these perimeters you got to work through now that you're in like a safe space. That summarized basically 12 years and as short as I could there. And that's what we do now. Kace and I, we do different containers and stuff, helping people through these things, navigating healthy relationships, the absolute foundational importance. And we can talk about this more as the podcast goes on. But a foundational thing is the navigation and the initiation of uncomfortable conversations, because you see so much. You really tell, not to judge it, but you can tell really where a person's at based upon those uncomfortable conversations. So we help people through that. I still facilitate, Kace and I facilitate private stuff in Austin. We are working in Austin with our medicine, and we go back to Columbia. We go back to the Amazon multiple times a year too. And I do a lot of content on healing from all that, and trying to help destigmatize ayahuasca too, because there's a lot of fear-based misinformation out there. Discernment is essential, but it's such a beautiful medicine. So I do a lot of talking, helping people learn about the medicine and how it works and stuff too.
What stage would I be in if I said, people I'm what, 6 years divorced now, probably, or 5.5, something like that. I've gotten over a lot of things, but people being nice to me, wanting to do things for me, or even wanting something from me that's a connection, makes me uncomfortable. Like, I love to help people, I love to connect with people, but I also don't connect deep enough with people because it's a burned in fear. But at the same time, the other half of me is like, you ain't afraid of shit. What do you mean? Like, so I'm getting through stuff, but it's definitely taking time. Like, people are like, you need
Crimson. That's Crimson. I love you, but that's going to be a whole 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes, my friend. No. Listen, coming from a place of working with different medicines, you have to sit with the person, the facilitator, the shaman, and they're going to really deep dive. So, I mean, I can't speak for you know, obviously, but I know for myself, it takes sitting down with the person and doing a deep dive, and it's not overnight that we know what step you're at, because you may be at one step here, but another step over here. So, which, by the way, I've never partaken in ayahuasca yet, because I didn't feel it was the right time or the right place and with the right facilitator. And I waited 10 years to even consider taking it, because when I started my journey, I started with peyote. So, David, did you do ayahuasca first, or did you partake in any other plant spirit medicines or connect to any other medicines?
Yeah, ayahuasca was first for me. I just want to mention one thing about what he said. I'd love to comment on, though. I think there was 2 things that kind of came up. I'd love to mention to you, brother, because man, so much I get back.
Contradict myself?
No, it was beautiful, because when you're coming from a good place, because sometimes we tend to overgive. There's 2 things I just wanted to mention that I found really helpful for me. Is one piece of it is receiving, right? Like, there was this wild journey I went on once, and one of the things ayahuasca asked was to first analyze, like, are you uncomfortable in the process of receiving? And this could be intimacy, it could be money, any place where you're receiving. If there's discomfort, then there's something there. And most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, it's because we get this program very early on as a child that our worth to receive is connected to our efficacy, what we give, what our work is, how much money we make. It's connected to that efficacy. So then the receiving is only fully received if we feel like we've earned it, so to say. So one piece is the receiving. The other one, what you mentioned when it comes to people trying to help you or do things for you, I think it's everyone's own internal journey of diving into their authenticity. Like in those, because especially after being through something where someone took advantage of you and there were motives, just having authentic conversations and feeling like it's energetically aligned and being open to that, because you're so worthy to receive and for people to help you just by you being you, not because of anything you do, not because of any way you present yourself, just you have breath, so you're worthy to receive. So it's just really having authentic conversations in those specific cases with the people, and then leaning into the uncomfortability of receiving, because the more you do that, the more you'll receive. And it feels so good. It's like finding this balance of giving and receiving. And sometimes when you're an over-giver, the receiving can be uncomfortable at first, but it's so liberating as you lean into it. But yeah, sorry, to go back, ayahuasca was the first plant that I worked with, and I just went really deep for years with that medicine with elders out there. So that's been my solo journey with that medicine.
And I know a lot of people may not understand ayahuasca, but can you do a basically ayahuasca for dummies version of the different traditions?
Itself.
Like I think for beginners, maybe that there are different traditions. Like you said, you went to Colombia, and there's different types of titles for ayahuasca practitioners. I know there's shibus. Obviously there's different traditions through the Amazon regions, and I also know that in certain areas it's straight ayahuasca, and they may not use other medicines, but there are traditions where you may end up doing, for example, hepe or sananga or something else along with the ayahuasca ceremony.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love talking about this because there is a lot of misconceived notions about ayahuasca in the West. And before I kind of give my little, what you call like a beginner's like dummy version of ayahuasca is, I want to make it super clear in no way, like it's such a mystical, beautiful spirit. I'm not putting it in a box. I'm not saying I know exactly everything about it at all. I'm still such a student on this path, like so much so. But one thing to know, and this is good for anyone that is brand new to it, is ayahuasca has been used for thousands of years by indigenous cultures for like deep levels of healing and spiritual expansion way before Western medicine. It's a natural combination of plants in the Amazon. And yeah, there are different lineages. So to be clear, I can only speak from the Taitas that I've worked with, which are with the Inga. It's a Colombian lineage. There's Peru, there's Brazil, and I've only worked with them. But you have, there's different plants. Capi is the main vine, and then it can be cooked with either chacruna or chalapanga, depending on who you work with. But the spirit itself, the best way I can kind of explain what it does is and there's a lot of teachings that the indigenous kind of grew up with and understand, is you have a physical body, an energetic, and a spiritual body. Your ancestral generational trauma lies in the spiritual body. When you suppress any emotions or traumas as a child or as an adult, when you don't process it, it suppresses into the energetic body. And over time, suppressed anger, sadness, and traumas, they create physical abnormalities and sickness. So ayahuasca opens up all three of those to allow different methods of releasing. Purging being one, like literally vomiting black stuff into a bucket. Out the other end, there's different methods of purging to release these things. And then you have a conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind, and it helps open these deeper layers up to bring out the actual roots of these patterns that are happening in life that you want to change. And ayahuasca, there's a side to it too where it'll start to come up, and everyone's path is different, everyone's journey is different. It's not like it's for everyone, but for people that are called to it, it'll start to come up when the being is ready to face themselves at the deepest level, when they're ready to really dive into what's going on under the surface and have from that accountability perspective. But yeah, that's basically in a nutshell, without putting it into a box, what it does and how it's used. And more and more people are waking up to it just because of the depth of trauma, the depth of manipulation in the West. There's a really cool, not legend, but I can't think of the name of it, but basically it's the eagle and the condor. A lot of different lineages talk about this. They say when the eagle and the condor come together to work in harmony, there's peace on earth. And there's different ways you can talk about that, masculine, feminine, but some people feel like it's Western and Eastern medicine kind of coming together and working in unison. Ayahuasca coming to the West, a lot of people feel that's the beginning of that. So people start to open their minds to these different ways of healing.
What's the actual effect? Like, can I sleep on it? Am I going to be awake for 12 hours? Am I going to be awake for 10 days? Is it like a mushroom adventure? Is it like, I don't even know how I would try it.
Yeah, and this isn't going to be the most helpful answer, but I've said hundreds of times, and every experience is totally different. So it really depends on what it is you need to experience. It can be really physical, where you're just releasing and purging a lot. There's a lot of experiences that are more visionary. They're more ethereal. You'll get visions of specific things that are important to you to see, or if you had a trauma that you disassociated from that needs to be processed, it can bring you back to process and release that. So there's different experiences you can have. They're all totally different. And I talk with this to people that I'm blessed to serve every month. It's like, it's impossible to have an expectation, even if everyone has them, but it's kind of impossible because every experience you have is going to be very different. It's like the spirit communes with what it is you need. You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need out of each experience. And sometimes it's not really in our awareness of what we actually need, even though we think we know.
Yeah,
David, I believe. Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, I do believe that the medicine from South America has come up to the West, because even though I haven't done ayahuasca ceremony and I've been waiting to do ayahuasca, I'm waiting for the right time, because when we say we're called to it, we just know when the right time is, so and the last, I did a very, very deep dive psilocybin ceremony, and we did hape as well with the ceremony. But the Black Panther came, and I spoke with one of my elders, and he explained to me. And he spends a lot of time in Mexico and through South America, but his primary medicines are peyote and huachula. And he does psilocybin, but we were speaking, and he said to me that is a major South American medicine. And he said, but you have to understand, with you being a psychic, a medium, and that was actually when I was initiated and did my shamanic death, believe it or not, was on a psilocybin ceremony, but with the Black Panther, and was told that was my medicine.
Beautiful. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that.
With the gold eyes.
That's awesome.
It's amazing medicine. I mean, you understand. I mean, I guess I'm sharing because I know you would understand the intensity of when you are working with medicine. A lot of times you get the eagle. You get, if you're in the States or in North America, it's typical to have spirit animals like an eagle or a hawk. But to have a Black Panther with gold eyes is not a typical experience here with this medicine,
No, absolutely it is. Especially there's obviously not my place to say what that is at all, but that's usually some kind of special connection for sure. The panther, the jaguar, they consider that the sacred protector of the medicines. That's unique and pretty special. That's awesome.
And he also mentioned, I don't know, and again, it's based on tradition, and traditions change from tribe to tribe, culture to culture, medicine to medicine, and how it's served. But I don't know if your teachings teach that it's also the animal that goes between worlds. with the Mayans and the Incas, the Black Panther is generally symbolized as somebody who can walk between worlds. So it is a protector to those who walk.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, and I love what you mentioned. There's this really interesting thing, and it's been such a cool experience to witness the evolving of it, because there's such an importance of tradition and coming back to tradition, really learning from these elders that have all this wisdom. And I've been able to see kind of it's like holding on to the tradition, continuing to go back and learn while being open to how it tends to evolve, especially the minds in the West. I've been blessed to see how it served in Colombia, and at least in those teachers, they're very stoic. They're very but the family unit in Colombia is really close, so people don't take things as personally, but it's really direct. Whereas in the West, I've found, at least in my experience, the people I've worked with, is there's a
No.
I thought it was just me. No.
Oh,
There's a.
he'll be
I
back.
didn't do it. It wasn't me this time. Oh, there we go.
He's back. He's back,
Okay.
folks.
I had it on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why I did that. My apologies.
All right,
We're at the climax,
So-
we're about to get told the reveal, and
Yeah, this is what's so cool about it. Well, what I've seen in my own experience of just doing the best I can just to be the instrument, because it's all about being the instrument, but observing it too, is people in the West, there's, in my opinion, a bit more of a need for a lot of gentleness, a lot of acceptance, a lot of unconditional love, because the family unit is so broken. There's so much fear that for people to actually surrender and trust the medicine, the place you do it in, and the people you're with, it's so important. It feels so safe and comfortable. So I've seen a lot of people that had a lot of benefit in experiencing it in a place like that before going to the Amazon. To each their own, but it's kind of, I see how it's evolving over here a bit to be a little still really deep, but to allow a bit more of a unconditional, loving, non-judgmental space so people can actually feel safe to be themselves, because a lot of people never have, because of the family they grew up in.
Yeah.
no fun.
Speaking on the family that you grew up in, when you said basically like a lot of what sets us up for narcissistic relationships or friendships or just in general is our childhood and our background and how we were raised. I know it was for me. I know it was for Crimson, and I'm assuming probably Elle, because it was your caregiver situation with your father, so you've had to have had roots that dive back to that. But I know my dad, and I was a daddy's girl too, so I still to this day am, but he was diagnosed bipolar. And while he didn't have such a rough relationship with me, it was more my mom and their control issue between the two of them. But that primed me to basically, that was just a way of life. That was comfortable, that was normal, and that was accepted. So my boundaries were just next to nil when it came to setting myself up for that, I guess, to not accept the red flags or to think that I could fix them. I think that was probably the worst. I know you probably heard that a million times, or who doesn't already know that one or thought that themselves. That if you just love them enough, that, and show them, the right way, or show them enough compassion that they'll change or they'll see themselves. And yeah, it doesn't work that way.
No, especially because not when it starts to require self-abandonment. That's whenever it shifts for sure.
Yeah.
Touche.
I see that a lot with families too. So, and my personal opinion is everyone has some degree of abandonment wounding. I think there's definitely higher degrees of it, but no one grew up with like the perfect parents that I've known of anyway. So it creates to be accepted and to be liked. And I do these teachings called Path of Mastery teachings. They're just teachings I've learned in ayahuasca. And one of them is you must let go of the need to be liked, especially by those you love the most. It's the need to be liked. It's great to be liked, but the need creates the inauthenticity and the self-abandonment.
Yeah. I think that's one of the most freeing things that come with age too. I mean, I've assumed it was with age and maturing, but maybe it's just, you deal with enough shit that finally one day you wake up and you've had enough and you don't care anymore. Your circle gets smaller, but it's more beautiful. It's more real. And, your friends are more genuine, and you don't have that need anymore to, whether to be liked or to be, to have people around you, or to, that pick me mentality just is no longer there. And then too, with the the authentic conversations that you were talking about. I know that's a big one for me. If I can't be transparent and keep it real with somebody, then there's no point in it. And I don't want to say that I'll call you out on it, but in a very nice, very polite way.
We'll do it.
Do I?
In a good way, yeah.
But at least am I in a caring?
Yeah.
I've never had a problem with you, my dear.
I like having her on my butt every now and then. I need it.
No, that's
I'm guilty of that.
This is a great example of it. You all are fine with it because it's like healthy relationships, and healthy relationships want that authenticity. They want that. Whereas something where someone's gaining off of someone, they don't want that. They don't want the boundaries. So setting a boundary is such a beautiful. Setting a boundary will only deepen the intimacy of a relationship or friendship, or it'll show you that there's some kind of misalignment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I try to surround myself with people that are talented, busy, to keep busy, and don't have anything to gain from each other. It's like, if I wanted to do what someone else is doing, I could learn how to do it, you know. But like, there's certain things where like I like that someone does this and someone does that, and I don't need to learn that. I don't need to go make 3D printed stuff for my stuff when I got a buddy that's well into it.
Well versed in it.
You know, it's like I don't need to. I don't work on much for graphics because Al's a graphics guy. He likes doing graphics, and I like fiddling with it here and there. But 99% of my stuff is your design. I put a few things here and there just for like a flyer or something, but that's about it.
Kobe's a mascot, by the way. The pug down there.
Yeah, you have met the great Kobe.
You want to meet Scooter real quick? I have a pug too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sweet.
We got the puggy episode.
Oh no, we got the cane here.
Oh, this is the puppy show.
Kobe,
Scooter.
It's your twin.
Kobe's
That's
got
hilarious.
a wrinklier face.
Yeah.
Oh, how cute.
This is
That's
the dog
awesome.
I left with. This is my boy.
My next dog is gonna be a pug, I tell
you
you.
see that dog?
That's the first time he has like really intensely looked at the camera.
Yeah, we never get Kobe looking at the camera.
You've been trying to get him to look dead at the camera for how long? Oh, how cute.
What one's that one's name?
Scooter.
Oh, quit it.
Scooter and Kobe.
I love it. That's so cute.
Mary, your little girl is getting so big so fast. Holy
I know
cow.
she's doubled in size.
Yeah.
Oh,
She was so excited. Oh. Kobe's actually got a strain named after him with a Kobe OG that Crimson developed.
yep.
Yeah.
It's a sleeper strain, go figure.
Yeah, well, his dog sleeps all the time, so I don't know about your pug, but this one's like a lazy cat.
Yeah, my dog's a wonderful ornament.
Great.
So David, can I tell you? I actually a lot of the work that I do as a psychic medium is with narcissists and narcissist behavior. It's an energy. I believe that when we start this path and work to heal people, it's almost as though Creator brings those people into our lives, because I actually went no contact with my family. And I go no contact very quick with a lot of people. Once I sense that energy, I just cut people off because the narcissist abuse is not just in family. Sometimes it's cultural, and certain cultures breed narcissism. And it's very deep in those cultures, and it takes a lot of healing. And I'm not going to say that I'm completely healed. That's probably why I've been waiting to do grandmother, I have been called to her, but there was still a lot of ego that I had to get out of. Well, that's what I was told by the, that I wasn't ready for her because of ego. But in a nutshell, I'll just tell you how I've always worked with it is I've been taught by my spiritual guides and what have you that there's karmic relationships and then there's soulmate relationships. And we're all soulmates, but those karmic soulmates are usually people who are chemically imbalanced, have personality disorders, or there is, it's usually what, I apologize. Your karmic soulmates are usually people that are connected to you, but they're going to teach you lessons. Okay, a lot of your narcissists, a lot of your people that have mental illness. Oh, and addiction. We have family, and these are things. A lot of times when I do sessions with people, and I deep dive, it's going into the past because a lot of times the future doesn't change, and that's what I try to explain to people. Is you can call me all day long and ask me what your future looks like. There's no guarantee what your future looks like. I can tell you a glimpse of what it looks like right now in the energy you're in, but if you're doing the same thing over and over again and you haven't learned your lessons and you refuse to heal, a lot of people in the West don't want to heal. They want a quick fix. I'll take a pill for this, I'll take a pill for that, and I'll be fine. They numb themselves. And see, that's what I love about the plant medicine is that the plant medicine isn't about numbing yourself. It puts everything right there in different ways, but makes you face things and heal.
No, I love that. You're absolutely right. And we're in this age where there's no judgment in it, but it's so easy to distract. It's so easy to numb. It's so easy to avoid rather than diving into it. And plant medicines will put it right in your face.
Right in your face.
No, and there's so many things leading up to it. Like when people sign up for retreats, I always tell them, as it gets closer, all your stuff's going to come up. And it's like this thing where you have to just truly be recommitting to yourself again and again before sitting with whatever medicine you're called to sit with. The plants have a way of doing that.
So what other medicines have you sat with, if you don't mind me asking, David?
Yeah, I've sat with combo a few times. And pre-plant medicine world, if I'm being really transparent, LSD was really beautiful for me. Well before ayahuasca, I did a lot of deep work in my mind with that medicine. But then once ayahuasca came into the picture, I've just dove really deep with that. It's really just been ayahuasca combo here and there. But there's some kind of really special connection I have with that spirit that I continue just to dive with her and continue just to work with her right now. I'm not opposed to other ones at all. They definitely interest me, but nothing is really lined up yet.
I just met a practitioner, a combo practitioner, and he has such a beautiful, beautiful soul. And I'm actually attempting to put together a combo ceremony as we speak. So.
Oh, beautiful. Nice. I love that.
I wish I knew what any
Yeah,
of
what
this
is a
meant.
combo?
It's a frog.
Yeah,
It's a frog.
It's considered
okay.
the vaccine. It's basically considered the vaccine of the jungle. It's a frog medicine, and it's really intense purging. It's a short experience, but very good for healing, like any kind of physical things in the body. It kind of purifies your blood. I don't know as much about it, but it's a really beautiful medicine. It's a frog medicine, though.
Okay. Just don't eat the fruit that like numbs your body. Is that one real?
No, actually, what they do is they put it on your skin, on your arm with sticks. The poison of the frog is on the sticks. There's there's another frog ceremony which is for a DMT, but that is Bufu. That's a completely different ceremony. I haven't done it. I usually stick with the plant medicine. So, David, have you ever done any of the others, or no? Just the Sananga then? No deep dive with mushrooms or cannabis or
Cannabis for sure. And it's funny. In my last experience, that relationship, I was never really comfortable with it, but now in something like really healthy, I definitely enjoy it. I think anything can be a medicine or poison depending on dosage, but I enjoy that. And I've definitely done some deep dives with psilocybin. A lot of deep dives with psilocybin. A lot of respect for that medicine too. But by far, the majority has just been ayahuasca. And I'm interested in bufo. I haven't tried that yet, but I'm definitely interested in that experience.
So psilocybin is my current medicine. My husband is the cannabis. You know, and as I mentioned, I have been called a grandmother, and I'm planning on doing combo here shortly. So combo is going to be new to me, and really excited about that. DMT, love DMT. That's been great. But honestly, it's funny because I don't know if you've talked to people who've done DMT. They always talk about all these like machine men and aliens, and I just float. I just float on DMT. I'm on the other side, just out of body. I'm not actually like seeing all these like really interesting things that everyone talks about.
Yeah, that's one of those two. I've heard everyone has pretty unique experiences on it, but the few times I've done DMT, it's been really floaty too, and like little visions and a lot of, I guess, what the
Geometric.
Geometric. There we go. Geometric pictures and all that. But yeah, it's been beautiful. Nothing. I know people have had really insightful journeys on that, but nothing super insightful there. But it was always really cool experiences.
Yeah, you know what? And I was talking to my husband about it, and maybe that's like you said the same thing. So, it's always been very geometric, very floaty, and just very peaceful. Nothing intense, nothing scary, nothing weird. But, and knock on wood, up until this point, I've never had a bad experience on medicine. I mean, I've purged, but you know, you hear people say that, oh, I've had a really bad trip, or I've had a really bad experience on this medicine or that medicine. And I just, you know, thank Creator, nothing like that.
I've had purges, that's about it, but I can't say I've had a bad experience. Like, but I've gotten sick for, 6 hours just puking, but at the same time it wasn't a bad experience because I still felt great the next day. Everything was back to normal and felt reset and ready to take on the world again. And I was like, man, I had a lot of crap in me that had to come out in the form of puke.
Yeah, you released a lot. That's awesome.
So, Dave, do you do 3-day? What type of ceremonies do you guys do, if you don't mind me asking? Can you give a little more information about the type of ceremony, the length?
Yeah, sure. The ones when I take them out to the Amazon jungle to meet with my elders are usually 7 days, 3 to 4 ceremonies out in the Amazon. The ones here in the States are 4 days, 2 nights of medicine, 4 days, and I do a lot of integration work. My wife does integration for everyone for free. We do a lot focus on tools to take home after the experience, and I do workshops in between the ceremonies that are path of mastery driven. So like kind of deep spiritual concepts, helping people like create harmony in their life. So 2 nights of medicine, a lot of workshops in between, and integration focus at the end here in Austin.
When you do integration also, do you have a lot of your clients that come back to you and consistently work on themselves? And do you also, I mean, I'm just saying for myself, I can't talk for everybody who does different plant medicines. We usually like to tell people that it's integrating. I don't know if you work with medicine wheel at all, but we use the medicine wheel. So it's about, mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical. And integration is really important because you can leave a ceremony and you're on top of the world because you've purged and now you feel so great. And then you get back to reality and all of a sudden it's like the reality comes crashing down on you,
Yeah, the integration is a key component. So I give a lot of tools before they leave. Like I teach certain forms of breath work they can do at home. I teach different kind of morning and evening routines to prepare the mind for the day. We have Kace, my wife, does a call for everyone 1 to 2 weeks after just to check in. And then we wanted to create as cost effective as a program we could. It's like $33 a month on school, and there's 4 calls a month to be able to stay connected with the community too. So we have multiple things set up depending on how, and I do one-on-one coaching too. So there's multiple things we have set up where people can dive in as much as they want to have that community support. But I really try and pack in as much as I can in the retreat to give them all these tools to go home with, so they can start really integrating it, and then doing that check-in a week or two after, which is all included in it too. And if they want to continue to stay connected with the community, we created that little program that is pretty cost effective for people just to meet every week.
How many people do you usually take down to Columbia?
So Columbia, the elders can take 15 to 20. Usually it's around 12 to 15. And here in the States, it's less than 10. We take about 8 or 9.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, I know that a lot of people that work with medicine usually interview people ahead of time. Do you have a very intense, I apologize. I know there's a lot of people out there who may need this information. They've been interested in ayahuasca, or they've heard of ayahuasca. And I get a lot of phone calls, and because we offer ayahuasca ceremony through elders who are, referred, but I explain to people it's not for everybody. You might need to start somewhere else. Ayahuasca isn't the first medicine to hit sometimes.
Yeah, we do. So I have a whole process where I do a Zoom call with any person that's interested, just asking questions, learning more about them, their story, their intention. I answer any questions they have too. Anything funky will usually come up on the Zoom call. Obviously, there's medical stuff you got to ask, and those kind of things with pharmaceuticals. So you want to ask a few medical questions. And then I just do usually about a 45-minute deep dive on Zoom to just make sure it's the right fit.
There you go.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Keep hearing about friends I know going on these trips and coming back, and man, how do you sign up for one of these? Because he goes on a bunch of like military retreat driven. Not, it's more like it's for military veterans to programs that you can sign up for. And I was like, man, I can't seem to get into any of these programs. I want to try one, but at the same time, I'd be like, what would I do for a week? Like, who's gonna watch my kid for a week? But that's not stuff to worry about because it hasn't happened.
Worry about it when it comes up.
Yeah. Or not worry about it when it comes up.
Yeah.
Just take...
That too.
I'm trying to get worry out of my brain.
I was gonna say, you have one coming up. Is it March that I saw?
Yeah, we have one in Salt Lake City, Utah, March 6th to 9th. There's a really beautiful center out there with the family I've been working with for a long time that has a few spots open on that one. And then the rest of them are all in Austin, Texas, the rest of the year.
Where in Salt Lake City are you going? Or if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, Draper. Oh, that's a psilocybin one. But the ayahuasca one is in Draper, Salt Lake City, Utah, and that is March 6th to 9th.
Now, who do you do that through, if you don't mind me asking? Is it through do you bring up your practitioners, or do you actually initiate that?
I facilitate all the ones in the States. My wife and I do. We created the Sovereign Healing Haven. It's an entheogenic church, 508c1a entheogenic church.
Okay.
But the ones obviously in the Amazon, way above my pay grade. My elders are doing those. But here in the States, I facilitate with my wife.
Nice.
Cool.
And to answer Crimson's question, I think because I was reading through what to expect on your website and that with the retreats. So it generally starts in the evening, and then you guys kind of progress through daylight. And some people, you said, may fall asleep and wake up in the morning. Other people are up throughout the night.
Yeah, we hold a.
Why don't just walk it through a little bit, just so people get an idea?
Yeah, so when people come over, we do a welcome talk, introducing everyone kind of getting to know each other. Then I give kind of an overview of the whole retreat. And I like to talk to everyone just about some things that hold close to their heart. Like the 3 values that I found to be most beneficial are patience, surrender, and faith. And so I really talk about the 3 values and holding them close to their heart throughout the experience, no matter what comes up, to be able to be with it and trusting the medicine. As the night goes on, we sit the first night. There's usually a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety that first night. So the medicine just clears all that out, purges all that. And then there's a lot of rest and recovering the next day. We sit the second night. And after that, there's a full day of rest and integration and workshops. And then there's a full night of rest. And the next day people head out. We do a whole focus on integration the last morning, give them a bunch of tools, and they head out. And then we set up the integration call the week or 2 after.
Can you set the scene for me. Am I sleeping in a cabin, in a tent? Am I sleeping on some grass? Like, we're in the Amazon. Am I next to a river? Am I like?
Yeah,
I'm just thinking Amazon, and I just watched Anaconda recently. So.
No, for the Amazon, it's pretty cool. They have set up out there. There's this retreat center out there that has like 2 really big buildings with shared spaces. They usually split up the men and the women, and then a bunch of bathrooms, and they have like natural pool there. It's actually really beautiful. They have a nice setup out in the Putumayo, the Putumayo specifically.
Nice.
Hey, David, can you bring up also, do you guys do a 30-day or a 2-week diet?
So we do a 2-week dieta. I have like a whole PDF of it that's just been an indigenous one passed down. So we have a 2-week dieta where they want to monitor certain foods you want to put into your body, certain ones you want to avoid, retention of sexual energy, because that energy is spiritual energy. So retaining that for 2 weeks prior, and then mostly plant-based eating. If the body needs meat, they do like, healthy chicken or fish is fine for at least the lineage that I work with in the Inga. But there's like a really detailed diet that people follow the 2 weeks prior.
Do they also tell you to abstain from other plant medicines if you're going to partake?
Yeah, you want to abstain from anything that's going to be mind altering those last 2 weeks as well.
Now, are there any?
See, Crimson, you can't smoke.
What?
You can't smoke for 2 weeks.
Like weed?
Yeah, like weed.
Yeah.
Can I eat it?
No.
No.
I gotta go cold turkey.
You gotta take a tea break.
Yep, it would be totally cool. Can I just tell you, my husband had to recently, he hasn't been able to partake in his medicine due to some circumstances, and I'll tell you what. And I haven't been either. And sometimes when you haven't been on your medicine, I'll tell you, you start to really appreciate your medicine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, that's why I don't like being. Well, I also don't like being off of it, because then I have to be reminded why I need it.
Yeah. Cranky McGee.
Yeah.
So speaking of plant medicines beforehand, are there any prescription meds that people wouldn't necessarily be able to partake in the ceremonies if they are currently on them?
Yeah, I get a list of them, and some are case-by-case basis, but definitely no SSRIs. Nothing that affects serotonin, nothing that affects GABA receptors, anything like that's definitely a no. And then any other ones I get on a case-by-case basis and send them to our team and check them all out. But definitely no. The big ones are antidepressants. You can't be on antidepressants.
Yeah.
Have they found out anything about the GLP-1s? Because I know that they're doing research now and they're finding that the GLP-1s do block even psilocybin.
No, I haven't. I'm not familiar with that. Interesting.
I did a bit of a deep dive on that, and it wasn't, from what I could find, it wasn't so much that it was blocking it, it's that the GLP-1s slow the digestion. They slow the gastric emptying. So what's happening is, instead of getting the dump from psilocybin that you need, that initial burst, it's so slow that it's just a trickle and you're not getting that effect. And the ones that are, if you continue to take more and more, and then all of a sudden, bam, it hits, it's because it's finally releasing, but you've taken so much of it that, you're at insane levels.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not so much that it was blocking it, it's just that digestion has slowed down so much that it's just sitting there, and it's not working the way that your body needs it to. But sucks, but yeah. So they're gonna have to wean off of that, otherwise.
I'm wondering if that would affect the ayahuasca ceremony too, though, because if it affects psilocybin, it would definitely might affect drinking and partaking in the ayahuasca as well.
That's something to consider. Yeah.
I don't know. It all sounds scary to me.
You mentioned serotonin. Would you feel comfortable discussing like what a serotonin syndrome is? What people, because I know some people go into like, psilocybin and that, but they're taking SSRIs, and what, the danger of doing those together, or any plant medicines that will affect it.
Yeah, basically what I've been talking from the beginning is this is why it's a huge no for any kind of antidepressants, because it can be fatal. It can actually be fatal with the overload of serotonin. So any of those, it's just a conversation of really important. You're off the 2 weeks prior. And I have little things I can help them with that too. Like they're not a doctor by any means, but there's certain breathwork techniques that are really helpful. There's different routines in the evening you can do that are really helpful to kind of calm the mind. And like holotropic breathwork is something I teach, which is just a forceful in the nose and out the mouth. You do that for like 10 minutes and hold your breath. It creates your own DMT in your lungs, moves it to the brain to relax the mind. So there's a bunch of tools and stuff that I like to put out there and teach just to help people in a natural way through their process of getting off.
Nice.
Let me ask you really quick about ayahuasca with ulcers. I could have sworn that I'd spoken with a practitioner who warned me that there are certain things, like, for example, if you had bleeding ulcers, that you should not be doing ayahuasca. Is that true then, or, to your knowledge?
Yeah, to my knowledge, you want to stay away from that too. And any, not just ulcers, but also any kind of like brain, like if there is a trauma in the brain, or if there is any kind of cancer in the brain, anything with the brain, all things you want to stay away from. But yeah, we do a kind of a good evaluation to make sure there's no one coming in with any of that stuff.
Well, what if it was a past closed head injury? Because, you know, obviously there's a lot of people who've played sports, been in car accidents, who may have closed head injuries. And when you work with, for example, psilocybin, it actually heals a lot of the neural pathways. But with ayahuasca, you're saying that, you know, no brain trauma. Is that past brain trauma or current brain trauma?
The current dieta they have passed down is any more than one concussion, as it could potentially not be safe for you. So with those, we usually talk to the elder, have them talk to the elder about it. Is there anything in the last 5 or 10 years that's happened? And I've seen the elders clear people before, but if there's like consistent concussions, then no, you'd have to find another medicine.
Nice.
That's interesting. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Everything's been enlightening.
I'm kind of curious. So we were talking about how psilocybin works with, you know, digestion, and basically you need it to all hit the system at once. Does ayahuasca work the same way then? Or at where in your digestive tract, where is it actually being absorbed into? And
yeah, so it's really interesting how the purging process itself, once you drink it, it kind of goes, from at least my understanding, not just into the body, but into the bloodstream. That's where it kind of pulls any of the toxins, any of the chemicals. Mentioning before how there's a physical, energetic, and spiritual body. It works a lot in the spiritual and the energetic. So when you're purging, you literally have a bucket, you're purging black stuff. And it's trippy at first because you haven't eaten anything black for weeks at all. And you're purging this black stuff because it's literally the energy of a decade of suppressed anger or sadness or some kind of traumas. It's a pretty wild experience to see this black stuff coming out of you.
That just sounds like the movies right there.
You should be all over it, Chris.
Like I want to say that I just puked a bunch of black stuff once.
There you go.
I didn't even know.
How many?
It came out and a boot, I think.
How many ceremonies do you would you say you've partaken in then?
Oh my gosh.
You know,
I lost count of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I lost count a long time ago. I've been sitting really consistently for about a decade now. And like I said, lived out there for a bit, and we drank with an elder multiple times a week, going deep with just me and that elder. So I don't have a clue, but many. And actually what's really cool, my wife too, you can, if you're working with an elder, you can drink up to 6 months pregnant, very small amounts. It's actually part of their tradition. The people do it over there. And it's really beautiful, apparently, for the child and the creativity and all that. And yeah, our little girl's super healthy and super aware and cognitive. So it's been really cool.
Interesting.
Nice.
they do that with peyote as well.
Oh, cool.
People do sit with peyote even when they are pregnant. So, can I ask the teaching? And I know obviously from medicine to medicine and plant to plant, it's different. But we were taught that. Well, I was taught that once, for example, grandfather is in your system, even if you were never to touch the medicine again, you can still call on the spirit of the medicine. So you have people that come down to the Amazon, they do a ceremony, and they don't ever see you again. Let's just say, I mean, they feel, they do the integration, they work on themselves, they heal, and they don't feel the need to come and do the medicine again. Is grandmother still with you? Is that a teaching that you've been taught, or?
Yeah, that's absolutely a teaching that's been taught, especially like depending on their own ancestry and stuff they have going on, and how connected they are to that medicine. Absolutely, she stays with you for sure.
Nice.
I'm over here fighting a sneeze.
Oh, you're good.
I'm sorry. It's great to talk to somebody who does plant medicine. And
oh yeah,
I'm
like a
just like, yeah, I love this. This is awesome. And so let me ask you, David, working with the medicine, obviously with shamanic medicine, each of us has different ways of working with our, medicine, as well as with the people that come to us for healing. Does the medicine bring on visions for you, or how do you, in the spiritual world, work with the medicine?
Yeah, I've really created a very disciplined practice of stillness in my day-to-day, because what I've found is to be the best I can be there, it's just being the best instrument. It's staying out of the way, just listening whenever someone needs help or what's going on or when to start the Icaros. It's a lot of listening and just being the instrument. And as soon as you get that guidance, and over the years, I've developed a beautiful relationship with it. I'll get little visions and stuff if I need to. I'm not more of a visionary person though. I'm more of a feeler. Like I'll feel when to do things and when to close things out, when to offer the next cup. So it's just consistently trying to sharpen your ability just to be an instrument of the medicine and try to stay out of the way of the medicine and just let it move you how it needs to move you.
Nice.
What about your wife? How does she work with the medicine?
She assists me. She's hasn't had the depth of experience that I have yet, but she assists me in it with copaling the space, being there. She brings a really beautiful, safe feminine energy to the space too, which is really nice, because I would say 90% of the people that come to our retreats are women. All the people, even doing this work for 10 years, I would say 86 to 90% of the people are women that are doing this really deep healing work. There's not as many men. So it's really nice to have the feminine, safe energy as well as the masculine there. So she's
I felt that sound
awesome.
Healing.
What's that?
When I lived in Virginia Beach, I was just 15 minutes from this grow store that they hold every other week a sound bowl.
Oh, cool.
And I was going to it, and I forgot where I was going with this. Yeah, I just said it. Sounds like when I would go to the sound bowl. Yeah, that's it. No other dudes.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm the only. I mean, there some nights we'd have 20, 30 people there, and I'm like, oh, thank you, it's store owner Adam. I'm like, thanks for joining us tonight, because I feel like I'm the only guy here. Well, I mean, it's like if you're not gonna see a lot of guys at yoga classes, but I when we went to the retreat, I call it a retreat because it's no longer the Grow Me Getaway, it's the Grow Me Retreat.
I know, right?
Because it is. It's like we go on our own little journeys spiritually on that. For me, it was a spiritual journey too, because I got a break from my routine, my life, my life as a single dad and taking care of my son all the time, 7 days a week. And then I got to just be alone with a kayak, and
that's nice, man.
To me, there was some fun on the river as well, but just the moments of just, man, I could do this all day.
That's awesome. That's really nice.
It was just a really nice break, and then back to the reality and stuff. It's like reality came back fast. It's like as soon as we got back to St. Louis to drop me off and go and fly out, I was like, I'm already back to reality, because we were downtown, we were around a lot of people, we're getting
noise and
I was like, all right, we're already back to life.
Well, man, I love that you even did that. There's not as many men, like I mentioned, even in the narcissistic work that my wife and I do. We're doing this 6-week mastermind, totally donation based, and even though we have 20 people, it's going to launch in March 22nd that we're leading, and 17 are women and 3 men. So there's more men that are like starting to talk, because there's all these like toxic masculinity of not wanting to be vulnerable about it. So I love seeing more men step into any kind of this work.
So what is all involved with with that one that's coming up?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Kace and I put this together. It's a 6-week mastermind. We lead, it's called Healing and Spiritual Expansion from Narcissistic Abuse. It goes into integrating all the depth of the lessons. It goes into how to attract healthy love. And then the third part is how to not self-sabotage healthy love when it does come, because of the way the brain's programmed for toxicity. So there's 6 weeks. We do a live Zoom call every week for 6 weeks. And there's a private WhatsApp group for that community support throughout the experience. And usually for my masterminds, they're priced pretty up there. But Kace and I were talking, and I got to give credit to her. She's like, most people that have dealt with narcissism, their financial situation's screwed. So we just made a donation. So we had people pay $500, $1,000. Someone paid $9. Doesn't matter. You could pay $5 and you're part of it. Like, we just want to take the financial thing totally out of it. It's been cool. A lot of people are joining in, and we're really excited just to develop the community of people that know they're not alone going through this. So once we made it donation based, people just really jumped on it, and we're excited about it. We have a whole chat going in the WhatsApp group with everyone telling their stories right now, and we're going to lead it on March 22nd. It's all virtual. We're going to record the calls too and send them to everyone in case they can't make it.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is all that information that's available on the website, on your stand?
Not on the website. On my Instagram for sure. I've been posting a lot about it on my Instagram for sure, and my TikTok. Yeah.
Sure. So, now that we kind of swung back to the narcissistic thing, what would you give advice-wise? Because we're kind of all at different levels here, but I think the guys are a little fresher with it, as far as still dealing with it. Mine was quite a while ago, so I don't know. I kind of feel like I've gotten, I don't want to say gotten far enough away from it, but as far as finding peace with it and just recognizing signs and my own, like maturity is not the right word, I want to say, as far as healing goes, it's like at that level. But what advice would you give for the guys here and dealing with it, as far as still being kind of fresh from it still, or still dealing with the backlash of it, or just the feelings that come up?
Yeah, for men, I think one of the deepest fears and wounds that we have, and I know this because it's come up for me so much in this healthy relationship I have now, it's this really deep-seated fear of not being enough, exactly as you are. Not being enough can come up in a lot of ways. So there's really two pieces of advice here. If you're talking about people from the past that aren't healthy, or that are like kind of healthy, but you still want to have a relationship, it's really about establishing strong boundaries and holding strong on those boundaries when you're talking about moving forward with opening your heart to new relationships, whether you're talking about romantic, platonic, whatever. The key I found time and time again is 100% in the initiation of the uncomfortable conversations. Really being able to lean into those, because once you feel something you want to speak about, that's the choice. The choice right there is to self-abandon and avoid it, or lean into it, because by leaning into the uncomfortable conversations, by not doing it, you're delaying the inevitable. The inevitable being that relationship's going to deepen, it's going to grow, it's going to be beautiful, or it being, this is a red flag you need to pay attention to. On an energetic level, talking about the path of mastery stuff, I like to talk about like what's happening on a deeper level. And this sounds a little harsh, but what I found to be true for me anyway, is anytime we avoid an uncomfortable conversation, our communication to life, God, whatever that is to anyone, our communication to life is, my voice doesn't matter. My authenticity doesn't matter. What matters to me is this attachment relationship over myself. So the pattern will repeat. So the key is really leaning into those uncomfortable conversations, and based upon how those go, then being able to observe the response and say, wow, we worked through this. We grew through this. This is great. Or I need some more boundaries here. Or I really need to walk away from this. This isn't healthy. But you're not going to know that until you really lean into those uncomfortable conversations. And it's hard. It's hard. Like, even in a healthy thing, it's hard because you've had all these toxic experiences before. So it's like putting your heart back out there after it's been like drugged through the mud. So it's not easy stuff, but the pattern will repeat until the being really starts leaning into those uncomfortable conversations. There's so much beauty and liberation in doing that. And then it doesn't get easier, but you get better at recognizing when you need to do it, and you get better at doing it. It hasn't got easier yet, but you get better at just doing the thing that needs to be done for the betterment of your situation.
You get more comfortable with it. Way more comfortable.
The pattern will repeat if you don't lean into it.
Yeah, I have found that to be true.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone's welcome too, by the way.
If you keep ignoring it.
Yeah, and you all are welcome to join the mastermind. Like I said, whatever. There's no dollar amount too low. We just want to create the community of it, because I think there's a really lacking community in that, and people that have been affected by this, it's isolating, and there's like fear involved in putting yourself back out there. So now we're creating this like group of people that are all talking about it, and even after the mastermind's over, I'm going to keep the WhatsApp group so there's people can still connect in that way. So.
One thing I notice that's kind of common too within our community is the tendency to overgive and then to not feel reciprocated, or because you have other people, you'll run into takers, or you'll run into people who just don't care. And it's not their responsibility either, for that matter. Part of that falls back on us, because if we're overgiving and we're giving too much and we're giving it away for free with no boundaries set up, we have to learn to take responsibility for that too, and to say, this is how far we can go within a reasonable, but you got to learn those boundaries. You know what I mean? What's comfortable and how to establish those. And
understanding that people that are meant for you will respect the boundary. All it's going to do is make it, even if they don't like it, they'll respect it. If they're like meant for you and they really don't want something from you, they just want you to be you and to grow with you in whatever kind of relationship that is, the boundary will only be respected. It'll only deepen the relationship. You're not risking anything.
Yeah. And I'm referring to like everything, work environments, friendships, but, just being because I'm always like the person people can depend on to do something. And I'll drop it. And what I tend to do is put myself on the back burner. That's my biggest downfall that I've learned to work through, is going into autopilot mode for myself. But I will take care of everybody else's needs ahead of my own. But it's like a conditioning that I've had to get a lot better at, stopping and saying, I can't. I'm sorry. I wish I could, but my plate's so full, I just can't. And that's a hard thing for me to say or to do.
No, I feel that.
Because it comes from that not being made to feel like I was never doing enough. Like it didn't measure up. It wasn't, oh, you did that. Okay, well, I need this, and because you get the taker, or mine stem from to abusive or narcissistic relationships that I was in. So that's kind of where I'm referring to with that. But it bled into other areas of my life,
Totally.
And I just became the giver. So I was constantly always putting myself out there for other people, and then running myself down, or going into autopilot mode where I'm not eating right and not exercising enough and not taking care of myself the way I should, because I'm spending hours on end making sure that everybody else is taken care of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep, I feel that.
Was it the medicine that spoke to you and told you you were enough?
It did, but mine. This is kind of a touchy subject.
No, tell me, when did you come to that realization? Because I can't speak for anybody else, but I believe for myself, when I did peyote, it was, I always, people are like, what was your first peyote ceremony like? And I said 10 years of therapy in 3 days. And I swear to you, that's when I got the message from the medicine that you are enough. That's when all the healing started, from the narcissism and the narcissist abuse. That's when everything came together, was during that peyote ceremony. I think it was in 16. It's 16 that I did that ceremony, and it was, I literally, the plant medicine came and said, and the grandmothers and the ancestors and everybody was like, you're enough. And I don't know, that's when it clicked. I think for people who go through narcissist abuse, you don't actually start the healing process until you realize you're enough.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'd agree with that. That's really good.
But then you have to do all the work, the boundary setting, and sometimes you have to cut people out of your life. You can set boundaries all day long, But if people don't respect your boundaries, you have to let them go sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the saying when someone keeps moving the bound, or when someone keeps crossing the boundary, don't move the boundary, move the person.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Mine was seeing 3 generations at once, encompassing it, and me not wanting that generation to continue. I didn't want I saw my daughters going down that path, and that was a cold shock. I did not want them to live the life that I had went through, and then what I saw my parents going through. And that's when you don't want that. That was the point where, even if I was putting myself through it, I didn't want them. I did not want that for them. And then my personal, where I hit a breaking point, was literally COVID. I hit it in 21, and it was like I got that Delta version, and I was 3 weeks by myself in a little apartment, 6 hours away from family, and there was a couple days there where I questioned if I was going to die in an apartment by myself. So it was at that breaking point that I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with all that shit. And I would rather, face myself and face death and face everything rather than to ever put myself in a predicament where I don't feel like I'm enough for anybody. So I would love to say that it was plant medicine, but it was that shitty ass COVID. It was just facing death. It was really, because I didn't know if I was there were 2 days there. I thought that I was probably not going to make it, and I refused to go to a hospital because I didn't want to go on a ventilator. And I had a friend down in Texas who's my best friend, and she was like, don't go to the hospital, hang out or hold on till we're seeing people turn around on day 14 and 15, and you just have to hold on. And I mean, I was using plant medicines. I was using Mulene, and I was using licorice root, and I was using a number of supplements to help me through it. That was, pulling the mucus out and doing things like that. But it was literally just facing death that made me say, I'm done with all this shit and shit people in my life.
Touche.
So
I like it. I like it.
So,
If you didn't go through that, I wouldn't have met you.
Literally, yeah.
Or you'd be going through it right now, and maybe I'm just temporary. Who knows?
Yeah.
Come and go, but at the same time, like for me, it's hard to get close to people because they're not, there's people that come and go in your life, but there's a lot of people that like to go when the times are not easy.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful for the people that are around whatever's happening. If it's good, it's bad, it's still going.
Well said.
Oh, this has been awesome, dude. It's been a pleasure meeting you.
This was awesome. I appreciate you guys.
I want to go on one of these trips. I want to try something other than things I've tried in life too, and even things I've tried in life, I want to try again as well. But like right now, I just feel like things are all right.
No, y'all are always all welcome, and I'd love to do a second one with Kace. There, Kace has some beautiful insight around narcissism. Maybe we can schedule a part 2 or something.
Yeah.
I
We
would
have a
love
lot of
to.
part 2s on this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome.
There's always a part 2 on this show.
Sounds good.
We never know how to cut it off in an hour, so well, conversations go, and we just let time take it where it's going to. Let the conversation go where it, where it's intended to.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you, Vixen, for sharing what you shared tonight, and Elle for letting us share some of your story and stuff tonight. And
I shit, bro. I'm still brand new to all this. I'm only a couple months out of my my grasp with narcissism, so I'm still dealing with the fact of the whole realizing.
You're in the stage of recognizing.
Hop into the mastermind, man. We got you.
Yeah, I might have to do that, dude, because I went through 6 years of some extremely traumatic shit, and it really fucked not just me, but my entire family has suffered, and we're all 4 of us are crawling out of it slowly. You know.
We need more men willing to be vulnerable about it. So we'd love to have you. Man. You just let me know.
I think Elle would be able to do this actually, and you might get what Mary had: 10 years of therapy in 3 days.
Yeah.
Or a week, or whatever it is. The mastermind. How long is that one?
Come on.
6 weeks. We do one Zoom call a week for 6 weeks, and there's a WhatsApp group.
And that's a Zoom call, so you can do this from home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you can't make it, we record it and send it to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I might be able to do it too. Kobe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kobe, you come and say goodbye.
Kobe wanted to say goodbye.
This is so adorable.
Scooter's got the eyes like a shark. They look like they're a little bit more on the sides.
Yeah, he can see multiple places.
Front, like Kobe.
Yeah, he can see all around him.
Yeah. Well,
That's so sweet.
well, again, David, thank you for coming on. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out tonight in the chat. There we go. That's the one I'm looking for. And just we look forward to having you on again, and have you and Kace on, and then go dive more into what you do for narcissism healing, and get Elle back on here again too, and we can go through some of our stuff. Maybe you can do a session or something, however it works.
Do it. Let's set it up, and we'll have Kace there. It'll be great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be beautiful.
Well, until next episode, thank you all for joining us tonight on the Cultivation Curve podcast. Al, thank you for joining us. David, again, thank you for being our guest tonight.
Thank you, David.
Yeah,
Thank you so very much.
Dixon, thank you.
Tough face.
Much love to you all, and thank you all again. And good night.
Good night.
All right. Good night, guys. Thank you.